what's up, guys? Dale Valor here from Modern Valor Dating. Listen, I was reading an article the other day from an author named Holly Peterson. It was in Lavender Magazine. All right, now what this article was about was pandemic dating and swiping etiquette. So, I'm going through this article and I'm reading it, and there were some things that jumped out to me that I think are some points they touched on that were valid, some that I didn't really quite agree with too much. But, going through this, and I believe it to be very topical because, in the way that the world is now with COVID and all that kind of thing, there's so many, faux pas that you could make when it comes to online dating and just dating during a pandemic, right? And so, look, I want to try to eliminate that as much as possible for you. And so that's why I wanted to put this video together, because I think there's some important points that we need to make, all right? So I'm going to break those down. We're going to hop into it. Let's get it. Let's go. Hey, guys, just wanted to take this quick time out just to remind you, if you're getting value out of these videos, man, subscribe to the channel. We don't want you to miss anything because we're dropping so much content. We're giving out so much value that it's important for you as somebody who is watching this, who's getting the value. We want to get it to you as easily as possible. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, thumbs up the video, and comment and tell us what you think of each and every video and what kind of content you would like to see us do. All right, so we're going to hop back into the video. Let's go. So the first thing they bring up in this article is fear of dating during COVID. All right, now listen, I have been out and about plenty. All right, now this is when things were in lockdown, when things were open, but there was restrictions, and now this is, the mall is open, regular hours, and everything's fine, but restaurants are closed, so I've seen it all now throughout the course of almost a year practically of dealing with this, right? So in my experience going out and about, I have seen very little fear when it comes to actual dating. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but here's the thing. With so many people out here in society and things like that, it's not going to keep people from dating, man. It's just not. Now, you may have some people who are a little more apprehensive than others, and then you might have outliers that are just like, nope, not doing that, like, I'm not trying to get it, and so I'm just going to post up in my house all the time and go out when absolutely necessary. And you have a contingent of people that are like that. But by and large, I have not seen a whole lot of fear. And I talk to guys all over the world, and I generally don't see that from their perspectives either. So maybe she has some fear, okay? And then that's okay. If she's a little bit scared or somebody's a little bit scared, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with being scared. And if you want to take precautions, that's your call, all right? But all I can tell you is what I see and what I observe and what I hear about, and I'm not really seeing that much of fear and just, people just being terrified or anything like that, So listen, if fear is an issue and you personally are like, hey, look, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm just gonna, hands off dating for now, things like that. I mean, that's your call, man. And I'm not gonna give you a hard time about it. But if it's added fear, then that, like, okay, look, I'm already scared to go approach. Now I have a real excuse. I mean, ask yourself that and be completely honest with yourself. Are you scared to approach, or are you actually scared of the pandemic? Which is it? Are you just using that as an excuse to not take action? Look, if that's the reason, you need to be out taking action and getting over that fear, getting over that approach anxiety. And we've got mad videos about that very thing. All right, so if approach anxiety is a big issue for you, there's many ways to make that manageable and to minimize that. And we talk about it in great length. All right, so we're going to hop into the second point. Let's get it. All right, the second thing that was brought up in this article was social distance dating. I think that is just ridiculous to me, okay? My own personal take on that is I would rather not go than social distance date. Because I really don't feel like you're getting to know that person. Yeah, okay, you're getting to know them a little bit better, things like that. You're getting to see each other's personalities somewhat more and all that kind of thing. But look, if I can't touch the person, and I don't mean anything over the top. I'm not saying like, oh, if I can't grope you, then I'm not into it. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying though is this. If I don't feel any kind of physical connection, and I know that many women feel the same thing, if I don't feel a physical connection with this guy, then I'm not going to push it forward. And so, look, if you're not getting some kind of physical contact, whether even just a hug or whatever, now I would recommend probably trying to push it a little further than that, if you're both into it. But the thing is, man, look, if somebody recommends, you're talking to a girl, she's like, yeah, I'm down to hang out, but you got to stay 6 feet from me or 12 feet from me or whatever the case might be, don't do that because you can't really express who you are. You can't be as assertive as you normally would. You can't be as flirty as you normally would. Show them that you are actually interested in them, that you find them attractive. You can't have that vibe, and I just feel like it's a big waste of time. If you want to have a conversation and chit-chat over the phone or on Zoom, I would prefer that than, being 6 feet or more away from that individual. It doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't advocate it. And honestly, I haven't heard of this until I read this article. And if that's a thing, I have yet to see it, all right? Now, I'm in an industry that is all about dating and all about relationships and all about the interaction between men and women. And I have not heard of this. So I can't believe that it's that much of a thing, all right? We're going to hop into the next point. Let's go. Number 3, do what works for you. And that I completely agree with. What you're comfortable with and what the girl that you're talking to and trying to hang out with is comfortable with, roll with that. If she's really scared about COVID or really apprehensive about it, don't push her. Don't push her past boundaries that she's not comfortable with or anything like that. But here's the deal. I would find that out ahead of time. Like if she's really scared about it and like me and her just aren't going to jive, okay? I kind of think it's quite overblown, the whole thing, and me and her probably aren't going to see eye to eye on a litany of things if she takes it very, very seriously and follows all the rules and regulations to the letter, okay? We're probably just not going to share the same worldview, and that's going to make for a lot of bumping heads, and that's just not fun to me. Teasing and joking around and being playful, that's one thing. But as to we just completely disagree and we're going to fight like cats and dogs, that's just not something I'm signing up for. So find that out ahead of time, man, and do what works for the both of you. Now, if she's a little bit more apprehensive than I am, that's one thing. But if she's wearing a friggin', old-timey diving suit from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or an astronaut spacesuit or something, that's just not going to work, okay? So keep that in mind and find that out ahead of time just so you don't waste her time, you don't waste your time, and you can find somebody else, all right? We're going to hop into the next one. Let's get it. Another point that I wanted to bring up was this. I often see people complain about lack of great date ideas when it comes to dating in a pandemic, because it's like, oh, well, nothing's open, I can't go anywhere, can't do anything. But the thing is, look, there's so many good options and so many good things and cool things to go do that, we're doing a whole series on that right now, on things that you can do during a pandemic, and you can do it when there's not a pandemic. I've done these things plenty of times with both, so look, these are all things that are doable. In some places, restrictions are more so than others, and I get that. But if you're creative, man, if you can think outside of the box, and that's the best kind of date anyway, to me. The whole standard dinner and a movie thing, that's so played out. It's so cliche. It doesn't show any originality. It doesn't show her that you put any thought into planning this. It doesn't show anything. So look, think a little bit deeper. Think of some cool things that you like to do, with your friends, things like that, and have her come with you, to the things that you like to do. And some of these things are still available and you can still go do and have a great time and get to know each other and get it popping. You know what I mean? So look, go ahead, watch that playlist that we put together on date ideas. All right. Now we got it in our playlist section. All you got to do is hit the first one and it's just going to daisy chain along the line. And we'll be dropping another one this Friday on that. So make sure you watch out for that. Make sure you take those ideas in, work with it creatively with what's in your area. And I will see you there.